doing for the next little portion. If you need to leave, no worries. We have a little quiz. If you want to test your knowledge of what we went over today. But if you don't have time for that, please, 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 please fill out the feedback form, the survey form. It's linked right there in the chat. I'll drop it again. This is really important to us for always continuing to improve our sessions. So there's one for today and there'll be a different one for tomorrow. So if you'd like to participate in our little quiz, we will move into the quiz now, also on Mentimeter. So if you used it earlier, there's a different code, a different presentation, but we have a couple little quiz questions for you just to wrap up. So you can join using your phone or your another browser. You can go to menti.com and use the code here. Give me a thumbs up when you are in so I know when to start quizzing ya. This is the hardest quiz you'll ever take. No, it's not. There's an essay portion at the end. Okay, see 3 people. Come on, let's get a couple more. I know you guys love trivia just like I do. Any more joiners? Anyone else want to participate?
People might be doing the survey as well.
That's true. That's true. I'll give you a couple minutes. I see 4 brave participants so
So
far.
Richard, you can just do menti.com and then enter that code, or if you have
Oh,
your
let me,
phone.
oh, I can actually copy it. Hold on, let me put it in the chat. There we
Shoot,
go.
awesome.
Okay, so you should be able to just click on that link. And you can join anytime. So if we get into the thing, you can still join. Okay, a couple more takers. Okay, y'all ready? Uh-oh, why won't it go? There we go. Okay, so question number 1. Our system Perlmutter is named after a biologist named Perlmutter.
Try to hide my facial expressions.
Oh, good. I see more people. Okay. Yes, if you wrote false or really false, you are correct. There is no one named, well, there might be someone named Perlmutter, but our system was not named after Perlmutter. Our system was named after a physicist named Saul Perlmutter. Excellent. Okay. So in general, approximately on this scale, how many users does NERSC have? This is in thousands. So this scale goes from 2,000 to 15,000. How many users do you think use NERSC? This isn't daily users, it's like total NERSC users. Okay, yeah. So we have about, I think this number obviously is always changing, it's always increasing, but we have around 10, may have broken 11, but if you wrote 10, you're kind of in the right ballpark. So yeah, there's a staff of about 120, maybe less than 120 of us, maybe about 100 of us, and we support almost 10,000, maybe 11,000 users. If I need help using Perlmutter, I should submit a help ticket that says Perlmutter is broken, call me. Well, yes. Well, I would prefer you didn't do that. If you wrote could work, you're in some ways you're not wrong because we will follow up with you. So we would reach out to you and say, we're not going to call you, but we're going to email you back and say, can you give me more information? But in general, you're going to waste a little bit of time because if you tell us exactly what went wrong, we can help you a lot faster. So in general, be specific. Okay. Oops. All right. True or false? It is okay to share my NERSC password as long as is with only one collaborator. I promise the questions get a little bit less silly. Oops. Yeah, definitely don't do that. There is really no situation in which sharing your NERSC password is appropriate. Okay, so if you wrote nope or you wrote absolutely not, you are correct. Which NERSC resource could you check to find out information about your projects, node hours used, and storage use? Great. That's correct. Iris has all of that information for you. So if you need specific information about your projects and node hours and so forth, check Iris. Great. Name one thing you need in order to log into Perlmutter. It's the essay portion. Nice. Excellent. Yes, everyone is remembering they need their MFA, their one-time password, Wi-Fi connection, absolutely. Strong password, a computer. Actually, I think technically you probably could do it from like your phone or maybe your iPad or something. I think there are ways to do that. But that's right. Having a computer is probably the easiest way to do it. Your account name, your username. If you want to SSH, you can set it up in your config file. Those are all totally reasonable. Yeah, phone. Yeah. I I I have not actually SSH'd into Perlmutter on my phone, but I did do that in grad school a couple times to a different system. Which storage system is the most performant for running computation on Perlmutter? Oops, I spelled Perlmutter wrong. Not Perlmutter, Perlmutter. Yeah, I think everyone got this. So, yeah, but Scratch is the most performant. Community file system is still performant and can be used. There may be situations where you'll want to use CFS, but we recommend the one that's the most performant is Scratch. Files in Scratch are permanent. Excellent. That's right. They are not permanent. So it's something we really want everyone to remember. We're telling you to run in Scratch, but we want you to run your stuff and then move your stuff. It's really important to make sure you're keeping your data safe because it could get purged. Where should I install a Conda environment for the best performance while running a calculation on Perlmutter? Okay. So I see Scratch and CFS. I see someone has written Global Common. So I guess this so the answer I was thinking of for this would be Global Common. So this is the space that is there is a portion of it that is well, so Global Common is mounted read only on the compute nodes, which means that once you're running a computation, um, the speed of sort of getting your Conda environment loaded in and starting to use it is really fast if it's in global common. So when you hear people hear that read only, they're like, well, how do I write it? Well, you can if you're not on a compute node. So if you're on a login node and you're just gonna do some little tweaks to your Conda environment, you can work on that on a login node. The other thing you can do is work on your Conda environment and have it saved in CFS, and then when you're happy with it, move it to global common so that the performance will be the best once you're ready to start doing performance like big big scale runs or you're like, okay, I'm happy with the performance of my job, or I'm happy with the code that I've written, or the whatever I want to run. Now I'm going to move it in this Conda environment into global common software so that I can launch all my jobs and they're ready to go. But if you're working on it, you're trying to debug your code still, you can have it in CFS. It's still going to be performant, but the best performance will be once it's in global common software. Does that make sense? So these other, I mean, and you can use Scratch. The instructions that we give are for how to set up Conda environments actually in CFS. Because again, this is where you're going to be working on your Conda environment. So you're like, again, you're writing your code and you're working on which packages or which libraries you need, whatever. So your content environment is kind of in a state of flux. But then once you're ready and you're happy with your code and you're like, okay, now I'm going to run my 100 jobs, then you can move it to global common and that will give you the best performance. That's when you're kind of done working on it. Okay. So this is a very open-ended question, but what is something new or surprising that you learned today? So maybe something that you didn't really expect, something that you is useful to you. Well, there probably were supercomputers in 1950. Well, I don't really know, but well, let's see. We're in 24. So actually the 50th anniversary is only you have to subtract 30 from your number. I think you've subtracted 50 from 2004. But I don't know actually. I mean, there must have been, well, there must have been supercomputers in when did we go to the moon? No, that was in the 60s. Sorry, I'm 31. I'm allowed to not know any of this. Um, Give and take. Yes, exactly. That's a really good thing. Quantum environments take up a lot of memory. They do. I know that Perlmutter was named after Saul Perlmutter. Yes, Saul Perlmutter. And Saul Perlmutter, a lot of times things are named after people who have passed on, but Saul Perlmutter is still alive and well and still a professor at Berkeley. He's around. Um, Understanding what the different systems, surprised about pip, Jupyter interface of nurse. Yes. While you're getting used to terminal, absolutely. And for the record, I use terminal for tons, when I was in undergrad and grad school, I always used terminal in like just like a terminal program. And then when I started using Jupyter, I left the terminal behind. I was like, I don't want to use this anymore. Even though I was very used to terminal, I really like Jupyter. I like having a little file browser. It's just, so even if you are used to terminal, you don't have to use that if you don't want to. You can use other things and you can use Jupyter. There's no problem. If you like your terminal, you're welcome to use that, but if you don't, you can use Jupyter. Cool. Yeah, I remember being surprised by that HTML address thing too. I thought that was really cool. I was very surprised by that. Okay, so just as a very last thing for today's session, again, we have another session tomorrow, but just let us know, how are you feeling now? In the beginning, maybe you were feeling nervous. Are you feeling a little better now? Um, if you are, again, like I said, you could be nervous and excited. If you are kind of feeling meh, that's also great. It's good information. It's just helpful for us to know how are people feeling after day one.
And before you leave, if you could please complete the day one survey.
Mhm. And we can stick around for a few. We're finishing up a little early here, but we can stick around if people want to just chat or ask us any questions or um, share any thoughts, comments, whatever. Um, yeah, thank you for participating. Glad to see people are feeling excited. Some people are feeling a little nervous. That's okay. Don't be nervous. You're not going to break the system. Everything will be fine. The system is very robust. Excellent. Thank you. Yes, the slides are on the web page. Let's see. So,
The slide PDF of the slides are on the event page.
let me see if I can pull up that link. I have too
I
many.
got it.
You got it. Okay, great. Yeah, there it is.
And so if you just scroll to the bottom, they're at the very bottom. Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. Have a
Have
good
a
day.
great day. Yeah, have a great day, Nick.
Yes, see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Come back tomorrow. Yes. Awesome. Have a great one. See you tomorrow, Richard.
And thank you to Justin and Helen for answering all the questions
Yes.
in the Q&A.
Picked up my spidey senses because I was gonna say something thanking them too, and everyone started saying thank you, and I got thrown off.
Yay.
Thanks, Wusong, too.
Oh,
Oh,
Woosan. Yes,
I
Woosan
saw him
was in
earlier.
there for a bit. I
Yeah, I
did,
saw him earlier.
but I think he left. Ooh, great. Any last questions from anybody?
That's all right.